Sonic High School, Chapter 11. That baby is Espio's, said Tails. Tails, being smart, was right. Knuckles had done an Einstein body donation and became Espio and Rouge's baby, but was still Knuckles. Rouge picked the baby up and held him in her other arm because her baby was Knuckles before he became baby was in her other arm. Now you have two babies to look after, said Tails. Good luck. Sonic was on the other side of the hall and wished that Tails was talking to him, but Tails was still mad at him, so he was not. Rouge grabbed her two babies and had them both eat from her terrific boobs. She smiled and felt like a mother, and Sonic thought. Sonic said what he was thinking and said, Rouge, you should name your babies. It will be hard to tell them apart if you do not. Rouge thought that this was good. Rouge went over to Espio, who was sitting on the ground looking bad and tired from fighting Knuckles before he became Espio's baby. Hey Espio, what should we name our baby that looks like you? Said Rouge to Espio. It is still Knuckles according to Tails, so we should keep his name Knuckles, said Espio to Rouge. Okay, said Rouge, and I will name my baby with Knuckles before he became a baby Knuckles Jr., because I had him with Knuckles before he became a baby and he looks like Knuckles before he became a baby. Rouge was happy and walked out of the hall and then out of the school like a bat, and then Espio did the same thing but in a way that was like a chameleon would instead. There is one thing that everyone is forgetting, said Sonic. Charmy Bee is still locked up at Knuckles' house. I will go rescue him. Sonic ran out of the school and to Knuckles' house. Sonic ran into Knuckles' mom on the way to his room in his house. Knuckles' mom, said Sonic. Some things happened and Knuckles looks different. It will be okay and you will understand soon enough. Please do not worry. Sonic said this in such a way that Knuckles' mom smiled and kept cooking in the kitchen. Sonic was not just fast, but also very good at relieving people. Sonic also noticed that Knuckles' mom was kind of hot, with solid boobs that she had developed for decades. Sonic went upstairs to Knuckles' room, which was painted all red, just like Knuckles before he became a baby. There was a cage in the corner of the room, and Charmy Bee was in it. Sonic unlocked the cage with the key on Knuckles' desk and opened the cage. Come on out, Charmy Bee, said Sonic. You are rescued. Charmy walked out instead of flying like he always does and said, Thanks, Sonic. I am going to go home to prepare for my role in the play that is soon. I am the lead role. Sonic forgot about the play because the play was the gayest thing in the school, but it was going to happen even if no one went to watch it. The next day of school happened and Tails was in class with Cream. It was a very difficult science class because Tails was the smartest person in the school and he only took the hardest classes. Cream was in the class because she wanted to be mentally challenged. We have a test in this class tomorrow, said Tails to Cream. It is going to be hard, and I have to study for it to make sure I get a good grade. Tails always got good grades, but studied anyway. Tails looked at Cream, who was there. Me too, said Cream to Tails. I know, I have an idea. Why don't you come over to my house tonight and we can study? Studying with you will help me get a better grade. I just know it. This idea was the best thing ever to Tails. Tails secretly had a crush on Cream and wanted to feel the body of his sexy friend always, even though she was Charmy Bee's girlfriend. Cream was a different kind of sexy that was only really sexy to some people, but Tails was one of them. Okay, said Tails, sounding more excited than he wanted to. I will come to your house tonight. Tails was very smart, but he was not the best at getting with teenage women, so parts of life like this were a challenge to Tails. It was now this evening, and Tails was getting ready to go to Cream's house. Tails was excited to get closer to Cream, but he was also nervous he might mess it up like a love idiot. He thought about asking Sonic, but then remembered he is pissed at him. Then he thought about asking Espio, but Espio was at the hospital getting all his wounds fixed from being in a fight with Knuckles before he became a baby. Tails wanted to seem like a sexy man to Cream, so he sprayed his dad's cologne on himself and put breath wash in his mouth. Tails smelled good and looked good and went to Cream's house by flying. I'm waiting for Tails, said Cream as she sat on her bed in her bedroom studying without Tails. Tails flew into the window. Hi, Cream, I'm at your house now, said Tails. Tails sat on her bed sort of next to her, but not too close to promote sex thoughts. Let's study, said Tails. Wow, before we study, you smell good, Tails. Cream put her face right up against Tails and smelled hard like the big bad wolf before blowing a house down. Tails laughed all nervously and said, Do I really? Oh, haha, thanks. I always smell this way. I guess you just noticed when you are home. Tails did a little wiggle on her bed and pushed her face and body away because he was nervous. Please let's study. Tails and Cream studied for the test for the next hour, and the whole time Tails could only concentrate on one thing, his growing erection. Tails touched it sometimes while they were studying to make sure it stayed put and Cream could not see it, but it was getting so big that it would pop out of place like when the straw in your soda rises up probably because of the bubbles and you push it back down, but it just comes back up anyway so you get iced tea instead. Tails was still the most nervous, but he decided that this was his chance. He would not get another chance as good as this if he did not take it now. Cream, I have to tell you something, screamed Tails to Cream, letting out all of his nervousness so he could be smooth like a movie star. What is it, Tails? Tell me about it, said Cream, back looking hot. Tails was not so nervous anymore. Tails said, Cream, I have lusted after your rabbit genitals since day one. I think you are the hottest woman I have ever been to. I know you are Charmy's girlfriend, but toss him aside and let my penis murder everything inside of you. Tails took out his penis, and he was so in love that his penis was literally screaming. Wow, said Cream. I did not know you felt this way, but I am glad you do, because Charmy B is a total gay. Cream reached over and grabbed Tails' penis and began to give it a good shake. She loved his boner with her hands and pulled him around the room by his penis like he was a wagon to get him more excited. Tails' penis was so big that it was about to burst like someone stepping on a tube of Colgate toothpaste. Tails could feel the semen bubbling up inside his penis like Santa going back up the chimney when he was done, and the presents he had left down in the house were Tails' balls, which were already there though. Cream was getting hot too. She did not take off her clothes, but Tails could tell she also had an erection. But then, just when things were becoming like one of the porns that Sonic had in his room and his mom let him have, Cream stopped and said, No, I cannot do this, not while I am still boyfriend and girlfriend with Charmy. He may be a fag ass, but we are in a relationship and I need to respect him. I will break up with him tomorrow and then we can do sex. Cream collected her things together. I think I am ready for the test tomorrow. Thanks, Tails. Aw, man, said Tails. Tails put his scrotum away and was sad about not getting to ejaculate his dick. Okay, as long as you promise me your sex. I promise, said Cream, and then Cream kissed Tails on the cheek. Tails thought it was cool and flew back home.